Hey everybody, welcome back to Hanging with the Wolfman. Just wanted to jump on here real quick, throw my 2 cents in on my thoughts about this whole coronavirus thing. And it seems to me, for about the past week and a half or so, every time I turn the news on, it's non-stop, coronavirus coverage, non-stop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Apparently there's nothing else going on in the world anymore. It's just this. I'm not trying to downplay the coronavirus. Obviously very, very serious virus, and it should be treated as such. I don't know if it necessitates the amount of panic that the media is pushing out there, but I'm not an expert, so maybe it does, I don't know. But I don't know, all the numbers that I've seen statistically, they seem kind of small. Not to downplay anybody that has lost somebody due to this virus, because anytime you lose somebody that you care about and that you love, regardless of what caused it, it hurts and it sucks really bad. So I'm not trying to downplay that in any way, shape, or form, but kind of makes me wonder, why are they pushing the panic button so hard on this? And I kind of have a couple of theories. Now mind you, these are just my own personal opinions. I have never talked to any quote-unquote experts or high ranking government officials or anything of that nature, so these are just my opinions. One, this pandemic has showed us that as Americans, we are grossly unprepared for a national emergency or a natural disaster on a large scale, such as what we're going through now. Everybody's panic buying. They're panic buying because they're unprepared, and now people are freaked out. Used to be, back in the day, people put stuff away, and they would hang on to it to get them through a rough time like what we're going through right now. And people didn't have to rush out and buy 15 packs of toilet paper in one shot, which I don't really get regardless, but anyhow. People used to prepare for things, but as a country, we've gotten so used to being able to run down to Walmart or jump online and get anything that our heart desires anytime we want it. And this pandemic has showed us that might not always be the case. So y'all might want to start stocking up, and I'm not saying going out and buying 6 months worth of stuff in one shot, but a little bit at a time. Start putting stuff away to because this will at some point happen again. There's new viruses popping up all the time. The coronavirus is not new. This is a new strain of the coronavirus, but they've known about the coronavirus for a long time. But you figure this is gonna happen again. It will. So a lot of people are gonna say, well, I can't afford to, buy extra food or extra medical supplies. And I say most of those people probably can, because if you smoke weed, or if you smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol, if you go out to eat, more than once a week, or if you go to the movies more than, like, say, maybe once a month, which, you can afford it, you just decide not to, and you decide to allocate that money for something more fun, which, as a nation, that's what we've been trained to do. They've told us for so long that, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. It's always going to be there. And now we're starting to see, maybe it won't always be there. So just a little tidbit. Maybe you should start thinking about, putting some stuff away and start building those supplies up a little bit. Another thing that kind of crossed my mind was, maybe it's just, a coincidence, but maybe the timing of, not so much that I think it was planned or anything of that nature, but maybe they just decided that since this was happening, that this was a good time to maybe try something new. I mean, you figure we're getting, in most areas in the U.S. here, we're getting close to, the end of the school year. The last 9 weeks or so, give or take a few, depending on where you're at. But and now they're saying that the schools could be closed for the rest of the year. Maybe students finishing the year doing online schooling from home. Well, kind of makes sense if you think about it. I mean, our national debt is spiraling out of control, has been for years. And they're saying that the government always needs more money, always trying to find more money. Well, they spend a huge amount of money every single year on public schools. And so maybe this is a test run. They're going to use this as an opportunity to try a test run. Let's see if the whole homeschooling thing could possibly work. We have the technology. People could, teachers could teach more students, online. You don't have one student disrupting an entire classroom or multiple classrooms with because they decide that something is not to their liking. You constantly have an influx of new, more and more students constantly coming into the system. So they're constantly having to build more and more schools. So maybe if they find that the whole online schooling works, maybe they don't have to keep building brand new schools. Maybe students start learning online, and the government starts saving a whole crap load of money from not having to build the schools, not having to maintain the schools, not having to pay power bills, water bills. So I mean, there's that, and then you got a lot of these big corporations that are now starting to allow their employees to work from home. By the same token, if these employers see that they can get the same amount of productivity by letting people work from home, which I would probably guess most of them probably would rather do anyway, and they see that they can get the same productivity, They might decide, you know, why have I got to build this great big ass building and, you know, spend all the cost involved with that, you know, the maintenance and the electric and all the stuff that goes along with, you know, a brick and mortar, you know, office building or whatever, if they can get the same thing from letting people work at home. And then, you know, if you got the kids doing online school, online shootings become a thing of the past. If you have parents working from home, then all of a sudden you reduce a lot of stress off a lot of these parents, because now they're not having to get up extra early to get their kids ready, to throw them in a car so that they can run them to the school, drop them off so that they can run to work, do their, you know, 8-9 hours at the office, so that they could jump back in the car, pick their children up from after school care, and, you know, then run back home, try to figure out what to make for dinner. You know, you reduce a lot of stress, which probably kills more people than this coronavirus will ever, you know, kill. So not to mention the fact that if you have, you know, that you have less people on the road, so therefore we're using less fossil fuels, because, you know, if you're not doing all this additional running around, you're obviously not, you know, using that gas. So, you know, we reduce the amount of fossil fuels that we're using. You reduce the amount of pollutants that we're putting into the atmosphere. So all the tree huggers, you know, they get a big, you know, boost as well. And so I don't know, you know, just a thought. I mean, it also, by not having those vehicles out there, you less infrastructure. You know, you don't have to build as many roads. You're not having to spend as much money, you know, on the upkeep of the roads that we already have. There, you know, the government saves more money there. So maybe, you know, something like that would allow us to maybe get our national debt, you know, kind of under control a little bit. I don't know, just a thought, you know. I don't know. Anyhow, I think that's about all I got for today, folks. So don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, share the video, leave me a comment down below telling me I'm full of crap, or, you know, say, hey, maybe you're on to something. You know, maybe there is some underlying things going on here. But alright, folks, well, we'll catch you on the next one. And unless you're my wife and kids, don't try to hug me, because if you do, I'm gonna poke you in the eyeball. I mean, straight up, freaking Three Stooges style. Bam! Just like that. Wash your hands. Don't forget the hand sanitizer. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace!